you
Had to
okay?
open the episode.
Are you okay? Yes, I am okay. And welcome back to the Casual Opinions podcast, a podcast that has been described to my grandmother as "you probably wouldn't like it," and that's probably true.
Was that like last weekend? Was that just Mike?
I feel like probably
explaining
more
it?
than once, and probably to both of my grandmothers. I just remember one of them asking, like, "Oh, what's your podcast about?" And I think Kate said you wouldn't like it. Yeah, I know, but that's coming from Kate. She doesn't know how to read, so
No,
she
she
doesn't have
doesn't.
good taste
Oh yeah,
in things.
drops children down slides and
Oh,
further
Jesus,
crushes them
wowza.
with her body. You
That's
know.
tough.
There were way too
yeah.
many kids this weekend or last weekend when she was down.
There were a lot. That was a lot. It was
Yeah.
a target-rich environment for Kate.
Yeah, there were a lot of trees, a lot of children. She had like just so many angles to just shove them right into those trees face first.
There's horror movie potential there, I think.
Very.
I'm just sitting here wondering, like, if these people, like, if we just have random people listening to the podcast, they're gonna be like, "What the hell are they talking about? And why am I terrified of this Kate person?"
I don't understand things either.
No.
Well, today we're going to talk about the one scene from the John Wick teaser trailer where he beats the hell out of the guy with the nunchucks, because I can't stop thinking about that one scene.
I can't stop thinking about was he literally chopping bullets with the katana?
I think
I
so.
thought he was.
I
They
thought
were
he
like
was
eight-
too.
They were like
I-
6 feet away, like.
I know. Oh, that's
Well,
gonna be.
I think they
amazing.
both were doing it. It wasn't
Yeah,
just John.
I
it
think
was
they
the
both
other
were
guy.
doing
Like,
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I gotta go back and watch all three of those at some point, because there's always like there's a couple just like balls crazy things in every single
Every
one.
single one. Yeah.
Like, Ugh,
They don't miss.
Well,
Those
okay,
movies don't
we're
miss.
not.
they don't.
They do not miss. Just like John Wick did not miss blasting a guy pretty much at point blank range with whatever that gun
That
was.
freaking incendiary shotgun or
Oh
something.
yeah, he just like loads it
I
into
had
him.
to rewind. Like I was watching it on my first through, and I saw that, and I went, "Hang on, was that John doing that, or was that John just taking an incendiary round to the chest like a champ?" And I went back. I'm like, "Okay, it's John doing it," but I could totally see him taking that and just being like, "Ugh, that hurt."
Ugh. And there's a line in the trailer where they're like, "Not even you can kill everyone," and I'm like,
You might be able to. You do know who you're talking to, right?
yeah.
John
and-
Wick 5, John versus the world, and the tagline
mean-
is John kills everyone. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
like-
spoilers.
No, that would be a great cold open for like a Sunny. You know,
Yeah.
John Wick kills everyone.
You can't. You can't kill everyone.
One more John Wick thing, and then we'll talk about what we actually need to talk about. One of my favorite things from John Wick 2 is when he's like in the catacombs, and there's one part where he's like fighting this guy, and he pins him up against the wall with his shotgun, and he pulls the trigger, but he's out of shells. So he holds him up against the wall with the shotgun, reloads it, and then shoots it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what is going on here? Ugh.
Oh,
Yeah.
those movies. They're
Yeah.
amazing.
They are amazing, and I'm very excited. But today we're going to talk about two other random things. We're going to be very late to the Miss Marvel. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We would have talked about Thor, but I've not seen it yet. And then we're going to talk about a little bit about some Pokemon Scarlet Violet stuff. Play a little game with that, which I'll explain a little bit of like what prompted that, because I had seen like there's always so many like alleged leaks and stuff like that.
Oh,
But
hold on. I do want to bring up the leaks situation, because there was one that was really funny that just happened. They showed a quote unquote leak of the second stage evolution of Fuecoco, the fire starter.
Was it the
And
egg?
everyone was like, well, no, it just looked like, a chili pepper crocodile on 4 legs, but it had like Japanese text all over it, and people were like retweeting it, just like, "Oh wow, this is the leak, it's so clear." And then someone was like, "None of you know Japanese. Did you guys not translate this image?" And above it in its nameplate, it just says "dumbass." and then at the bottom it says, "How does it feel to get no bitches?" or something like that.
Brilliant.
So all these people were just retweeting
I
this fake
take it with a
leak.
grain of salt, but I heard a leak for his final form is somehow supposed to be a bird. And I don't know how he would go to a bird, but
Well, I mean, he's a crocodile, and he could turn into like a serpentine thing. And I know, like, Quetzalcoatl is like this giant winged serpent kind of beast. So,
who knows?
Who
who knows?
knows? Not I. I don't understand these things. But
I don't understand these things. However, I still struggle to understand what was happening in Miss Marvel somewhat.
I don't understand.
Move on to that.
Transition. Let's go.
Boom, 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 boom.
All right. Yeah. Let's do a thing with Miss Marvel and just like recap the whole season and then talk about it and ask some questions. I think overall I quite enjoyed it. Here's my recap that I kind of cobbled together here. So please let me know if I miss anything because I'm trying to do all. Was there 6 episodes?
6.
Was there just 6?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, Kamala Khan is like a superhero fangirl who really loves Captain Marvel. One day she gets a mysterious bangle from her grandma. She puts it on, goes to AvengerCon, finds out that it actually has superpowers. You later learn down the line with Bruno's high-tech iPad that it's not just the band, but the band has in fact unlocked some sort of power within her. There's a bit of a run-in with the feds after she's trying to kind of like get her powers under wraps here, and she's rescued by Kamran and his mom. His mom turns out to be, I think they call them clandestines, which are basically people from, and I wasn't really clear on this, some sort of like parallel dimension. They are been trapped on Earth for a long time and want to go back home. They think that Kamala can help. Kamala wants to help, but her friend slash simp Bruno says I could be potentially very, very dangerous, so she doesn't. This makes the clandestine people very unhappy. I think they get thrown in the slammer, albeit a pretty pathetic slammer. Kamala goes to Pakistan to visit her grandmother, hopefully learn more of her past. When she's here, she learns about the Noor, which I think is that parallel dimension there where the other people are from. She finds out that her great-grandma was from there, and that she's somehow a descendant of these clandestines, these jinn, I think they referred to them as sometimes. With the help of the Red Daggers, she helps stop the clandestine from breaking this veil that would have like caused the Noor to, I guess, destroy the world. I wasn't very clear on that either. In the process, Kamran's mom sacrifices herself. She kind of sees the light, helps close it. She turns into a freaking skeleton. And then somehow that makes Kamran super powered also. He cracks into some powers, which I guess it's safe to assume that, since he's a descendant from there, he would have some degree of powers. But returning back to the United States, Kamran has powers. The damage control feds want to snatch him up. Kamala and friends and family help Kamran escape and send him off to Pakistan. Kamala gets her superhero name from her dad. Bruno tells her that she's a mutant. And then at the end, she somehow poofs away, and in her place, Captain Marvel is there, seeming quite confused. I think that's most of the major stuff, but if I miss anything, let me know.
Okay, that's not how I perceived that ending scene. Is that how you perceived it, Bailey?
I perceived it initially as comic accurate, where she transformed herself into
That's
Captain
what
Marvel.
I was thinking too.
But the more that I kind of like looked into it and was like, I need to understand what's going on, it seems more like people have slowed down the image, and she seems to get like sucked into a portal momentarily, and it's like they switch places. So I'm starting to think they definitely switched places. I'm in that camp.
I got the switch places vibe mostly just because afterwards Captain Marvel is like looking around the room, like seeing pictures of herself, and she just seemed kind of confused.
See, the way I
thought the pictures were different. I didn't even think they were Miss Marvel pictures hanging up anymore.
There still were.
Some
What
of them
I was
were.
interpreting her like reaction was that she was still Kamala Khan, like just looking around the room, like, "Oh my God, I transformed into
Oh,
See,
Captain
I thought she
Marvel."
transformed or something. Body swap, something, yeah.
But I think it's definitely like a swap situation. If they swapped
yeah.
bodies, that would be an interesting take, but we're not going to find out until
For
The
a
Marvels,
while.
which comes
Yeah.
out like I think a year from now.
Ugh.
Yeah. So I'm still sticking on the side of place swap personally.
Yeah.
How I have no idea. Um,
Well, some people have speculated that potentially it relates to Shang-Chi and his
yeah.
10 rings and the
I
beacon
was
thing. She was
I was gonna
investigating it.
ask. I was
Yeah.
gonna ask if we thought maybe there was a connection there because she obviously shows up at the end of Shang-Chi curious about this. So I don't know. Maybe she found maybe
The
Captain
other
Marvel
bracelet.
found the other bangle and somehow there's a swap thingy there.
Yeah.
I
Who
don't know.
knows?
I don't know. That was kind of like the end of everything there, which is certainly worth talking about. But I guess how did we feel about the show overall? Like if you had to stack it up like amongst other well, I guess as a show, and then like if you had to stack it up against Disney Plus Marvel shows, like how do you think it
I
compares?
can I can
In
say
the
that I liked it better than Moon Knight.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about an overall ranking, but it was good. It had a little lull, maybe like halfway through, where I was just like, "What?" And I wasn't as into it, but it picked back up, and it's a solid show. I like it.
Yeah, that lull that you're talking about, I think, is from the moment they went to Pakistan.
Oh, do
Um,
you hate Pakistan, Bailey?
no, it's not necessarily that. It's just like
Problematic,
they.
It's not necessarily.
but it might be,
No,
but not necessarily. It's not
jeez,
the main
I need to
reason.
work on my phrasing. Shut up, shut up. So, God, it's not that. It's about the narrative and like the way that it was going, because they seem to set up that her grandma knew what was going on because she calls her at the end of episode 3 and is like, "You need to come here now. I saw the train," and it's like, "Oh, interesting." So the
Mm.
grandma like kind of knows what's happening, and she goes over there, and her grandma is just kind of like, you're special, and that's it.
Yeah,
It's like they didn't really contribute anything, and so she had to go and kind of like find the answers on her own. And it's just like, what was the point? I really don't understand the point of why she went there. It was cool to see, and that kind of thing, but I just all the stuff that took place there just didn't feel like it had much purpose for the overall narrative. I think like the thing that worked the most was the back in time sequence that
I
kicked
like
off
that.
episode 5.
That's when it
I
started to
enjoyed
pick
that.
back up. Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
I really liked that. And then again, at the end of that episode, whenever it went back to modern time and we got back to with the clandestines who I don't know how you feel about them. I did not like them as
I
Mid.
didn't know.
villains.
Yeah, they were not
I
that
Yeah.
was
great.
just I I don't I don't think their motivations were strong enough, and
Mhm.
they just kind of became evil suddenly.
Yeah.
It just felt too quick, and then they tried to make you care about them right at the very end, and I'm just like,
Hey,
too
do,
fast.
is one of the who's Kamran's dad? They never say that.
No.
They never
And
do. No.
but I was always kind of like, is it one of the dude clandestines, like, or did she like?
I
She
mean,
seems to not
he
really much care
yeah,
for.
he never mentioned his dad really. Like it didn't seem
Yeah,
like he. I feel like it
I was just
probably
like,
wasn't anybody we saw.
yeah, I was just like, do we think he's half clandestine, half Jin, or do we think both of his
Also,
parents were? And
I'm just before that they revealed that that was her son and everything. Like they kind of get, or well, maybe it was after. They kind of just gave the impression that like I don't know. It just felt weird that she had a kid.
yeah,
The
he
whole thing
did.
was she wanted to leave. She didn't care. Blah blah blah. But then she just clearly banged some guy and has a kid. It's like what? I don't know. That just
Yeah,
seemed a
because
little out there.
they even made sure to say that like he's 17, like he's actually 17, like he's
Right.
not like 100. So they've been on Earth for 100+ years,
And
so
now
is
all
she
this,
just like
yeah, you just
she was
randomly
just like
decided to have a
kicking
kid.
it, just kicking it for 80 years, and then she just, yeah, I don't know, that's a little weird. And
Yeah, I
and
thought
also
that
I
too.
felt like her turning back to good was kind of like it felt a little, I don't know, like think about your son, and she's like, oh yeah.
Also,
it's the atheist coming to God on their deathbed kind of
Yeah.
cop out where it's like,
Yeah,
come
God's not
on.
dead one.
Also,
Yeah.
are they not related?
No, that was a lie she made up, I think.
She did
Yeah.
make like that evil woman and then her Kamala's grandma, they're not related.
Oh,
No, they're
I don't
not.
think
I
so.
thought they were sisters.
They're just from the same. They're from the same universe.
Okay,
think
I
that's the
really
most
thought
that we
they
got.
implied that they were sisters, and so like when she
The-
was like feeling or like really like getting all into Kamran or whatever, like dude, that's like your cousin, and I was like getting really weirded out by it.
No, they may have like referred to each other as sisters, but I believe in Pakistani culture, they do refer to each other as like brother, sister. They
Gotcha.
called like stranger adult men uncles. Other men in the temple uncles or the mosque uncles. Sorry, I don't know much
Cool.
about it, so it's like trying to figure it out. But the show is honestly like a good learning opportunity, and like
Yeah.
you get to see what
Nice.
this culture is like. It was very cool.
Yeah, it kind of expanded out a lot from what the other shows had like kind of looked into, and stylistically, I liked it too. Like I liked how they did the text messages and the,
Oh yeah, that was cool.
included the art.
I
thought
was
that
so.
neat.
I think my issue was I loved that style in episode 1, and it
And
continued
they kind of went
on,
away from it.
and they just stopped doing it. And even
Yeah.
in the final episode, there was like maybe one moment where it happens, and I'm like, I appreciated that was the style they were going for, but they dropped it entirely.
They did. Yeah, they did
So-
drop it.
I do think that's kind of like where that lull hits too. Like I think I really like
Yeah.
I think you could do it into thirds. Like I think I really liked 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then 3 and 4 are kind of and then like 5 and 6 I thought it was a really strong finish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Better than Moon Knight.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Definitely. I would say, I don't know, like without sitting down and like really thinking about it hard, like I still think like Loki and Hawkeye are probably like my 2 favorite, but this would maybe be somewhere in that
It's definitely in my top
3
3.
yeah, 3 or 4
Three or
maybe
four,
for me.
yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean top half at least, I would, because there's been Moon Knight, Hawkeye, Falcon, WandaVision,
Loki.
Right.
Loki, What If. I feel like I'm missing another one in there somewhere. But yeah, it's the top half. It was good. I liked it. I'd be curious to see more of it in the future. I also really liked her family in there. I thought they were like
Yeah.
funny, and the dad was. I mean, she's got like an MVP dad. Like
I like.
it was,
Right.
it was cool.
I did like that
like,
scene
I-
when they were doing that plan in the last episode, and like people just kept popping up out of nowhere while they were doing this plan. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like her brother
No.
shows up and he's like, "Mom told me to come." And he's like,
Yeah.
"No."
Yeah, no, but that
brother's
thing
funny.
reminded a lot of people of like the Spider-Man, like the Raimi Spider-Man, where you would have the community come together to protect Spider-Man and protect the hero, and that's exactly what happened here. And it's like I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care if it's a trope at this point. I love whenever that happens,
Yeah.
because heroes need saving.
I mean, she's like a pretty fresh hero too.
Yeah, she's like in high
Exactly.
school.
I think everybody knew that Captain Marvel would show up in some capacity.
Right.
And I'm glad that they did like the whole community banding together and not like Captain Marvel like popping up and being like, "I'm here to save the day."
Yeah, I wondered
'cause
if they were gonna
Yeah.
shoe that in at the end, and I
that
was
would
like,
have taken
it wouldn't have been
that would
good.
have taken away from her. I think.
Yeah.
Because again, Captain Marvel is like cosmic and universal
Yeah.
threats. Just her showing up to be like, "Hey, stop picking on these kids." We just
Right.
kind of feel little like small potatoes at that
Yeah,
point.
definitely.
Did you guys have a favorite character in the show?
I love the brother and I love the dad.
The brother is my favorite, probably. The dad's really
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah.
I got my heart broken whenever she was like trying to go to the Avengers Con,
Oh
and
yeah.
they're like, "He's going as the Hulk," and he jumps in there. He was so excited to like be there and supporting his daughter, and she just
She's like,
shuts him
"Screw
down.
you, Dad. Screw
And
you. I hate you."
he's like, he genuinely was heartbroken. He's like,
Yeah.
"You're not going," and it's like, "Oh no, just let him come with you. It's okay. Just
Yeah.
go."
I was a Brian fan.
Bruno.
Bruno. Oh yeah, did you know that he was one of the final contenders for Peter Parker in the MCU?
That
Like
kid.
that
Really?
actor? Yeah, that actor
Interesting.
was.
Hmm.
Like if you watch it, I was sitting there, I was like, he does have like that kind of Spider-Man Peter Parker mannerism to him.
He's got that
like,
dweebiness
attitude.
to him.
He's not as
Very
cute as
dweeby.
Tom Holland, though.
Yeah,
that's probably why they chose Tom.
I watched him in.
Plus, Tom is also acrobatic.
I had seen him in The Walking Dead. He had a pretty decent role in The Walking Dead, so I had already seen him a little bit, and I can.
Really?
Yeah, and I actually like. At first, I really hated his character in The Walking Dead because he's a kid, and I usually just hate kids. But by the end of it,
Same.
spoiler, he gets his head decapitated, but he was kind of cool at the end of it.
For him.
Yeah,
His head decapitated is a fairly redundant statement.
it is, but you get what I'm going for.
No, I got you. It's just his head got decapitated. It's like, oh,
Just the top
Okay.
half of his head.
Okay. Well, that's
oh, a shave and a
little more
haircut. Got it.
specific, yeah.
Right.
A little off the top.
The other obviously big thing here is the mutant thing at the end.
Yeah.
For so long, people have been like, "When's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen?"
How are they doing? I don't know if this is going to be enough for me to like it, because like, what are we just saying? Oh, yeah, there's mutants now. Like, I discovered it in your DNA. I'm like, what? We didn't discover that prior to this?
Yes.
Like, that's just not enough for me. That's not the way I wanted them to do it.
It's
Yeah.
it's interesting. I'm intrigued to see where they're going with it. Whether it's going to be like a bunch of people have the latent gene in them and it takes like a lot of, I don't know, cosmic energy or some sort of traumatic force
Or if they
upon
wanted
them
to
awaken that.
yeah, like maybe like they could relate it to the snap somehow. I don't know. Maybe
You see,
I
the
think-
thing about this is I think
That would
the
probably trigger a
core
lot of people. I
essentially-
bet.
would it?
I bet it would. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that would make sense, like to me personally.
in
But I
this
feel like
universe, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that would trigger a lot of people, especially because since like Magneto, for example, like
His
he had
whole
his
history
powers
is about
like
the
all the way.
Holocaust,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, yeah. But obviously, yeah, in this universe, I think we have to rule out Magneto. Magneto can't exist in this part of the MCU.
I mean, like it's also the comics, and Magneto absolutely could be like, maybe the X gene allows you to survive longer, or maybe if you're like an Omega class mutant, it like prolongs your life,
Could be.
and maybe they could explain it away. So it's like, you know,
they need to be
different
careful with that,
categories.
because if they're just
Yeah,
explaining away
exactly.
mutants having been here the whole time, I'm gonna be a little upset.
That's
Like,
tough. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
tough.
That's the one tricky
that's the
part, because it's like
balancing act.
Thanos destroys, wipes out half of the life on planet Earth, and it's like, okay, where were the X-Men in all of this?
Mhm.
Why wouldn't even Magneto step in and be like, hey,
Yeah.
you wiped out like half of my mutants? Like,
right,
that's
yeah.
pretty shitty.
Don't be tricky.
Yeah, it will be a difficult to balance. They're doing that X-Men
Unless they
number
say-
97 show.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, no, that looks
It'll be
good.
interesting.
Magneto's leading them apparently, not
That'll be cool.
Charles.
I did hear a rumor that a boy, supposed casting rumor, maybe it was just a fan casting. I don't know half the time. That Giancarlo Esposito, it might be Professor X.
Ooh.
He's Gus Fring from Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Um,
the black
Moff
guy,
Gideon.
Moff
Moff
Gideon.
Gideon,
He's gonna be
yeah.
Professor X.
That's a rumor.
I
It's a
wouldn't hate
rumor.
that. I
No,
like
good.
him. I could see
Be
that.
I
interesting
wouldn't
to
hate it
see him.
either.
Be interesting to see him be a good guy, because he's just like
He's usually bad. Yeah.
bad guy in Breaking Bad, bad guy in The Boys, bad guy in Star Wars.
Bad guy in Far Cry 6.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a type, but yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be interesting. Two more questions related to this. Question number one: if you had to go on a date with Bruno, Kamran, or Kareem, the Red Dagger, who'd you go on a date with?
I gotta sympathize with Bruno.
I got to throw Bruno out immediately.
He's so nice though.
I don't know. He's
I would go with
so-
Red Dagger guy. I don't know.
I don't
probably
like Red
would too.
Dagger guy.
I
Probably
just
go Red Dagger.
Kamran would be
Kamran
number
just kind
two.
of came in. Kamran came in and just didn't
a
really
little bit of a
impress
bad
me.
boy.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't like him because he put Bruno to the side. Bruno was trying so hard, and then
Yeah.
he kept calling him Brian.
Yeah.
What the heck, man?
I
It's
I would
like,
go with I'd go with
yeah.
Kareem. He lives behind a restaurant and he can play a guitar, right?
And if I really want to die, he can just throw a knife in my face.
That's one positive thing to look at.
Did you guys have a prefer? Oh, this is actually I said another question. Do you guys have a preferred mutant that you would like to see first? Then I mean I guess if Kamala's the first mutant, who would you like to see next?
Oh
Jeez.
gosh.
I don't really know that much about the X-Men or really care that much. Really, all I want is I want that freaking Wolverine game to be good
Yeah.
from the
Yeah,
creators of the Spider-Man game. Just
I want that to be good, but if I were to pick a mutant that I need to see first,
Oh, it's gonna be Darwin.
no, it's not going to be Darwin. I need to see Magneto first. I want to see how they're handling the whole Magneto situation because the whole Holocaust survivor thing is so essential to his story,
It
and the
is.
fact that he's Jewish, it's just kind of like that needs to be the focus or at least a starting point for his character.
I
And
agree
if they're
with
just
you.
going to shove it aside and be like, "Oh, Thanos snapping awakened his X
yeah,
gene." And it's just like
Yeah.
I
I
don't like
I
it.
want that
But
as well, but at the same time, like I said earlier, I just think maybe for this MCU we just don't have him. We don't have some of that stuff. Like if it's already not possible, just timeline speaking wise, just move on. Let's do a little bit new stuff. I'm okay with
or
that.
maybe he got frozen. He was like frozen, cryo freeze or something like that. Someone posited that like maybe
I mean, yeah,
he
they
was
could
frozen
say
by the
that.
Germans in time and
He's
then
been in that plastic
released.
bubble for the past 60 years. Yeah,
yeah.
something like that.
Uh, did you hear the that they rumor is Taron Egerton as Wolverine?
I heard
I heard
that,
that, yeah.
yeah.
I can get behind it. I like
I
him.
I think it would be
I'm
fine. He's
indifferent.
short. I, you know,
Wolverine's short
English
though, right?
actors tend to be pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the one thing people complained about Hugh Jackman was that he's way too tall for the role, and that Wolverine is just supposed to be a short, stinky man.
Short, stinky man.
Yeah, that's how people always have described him. They're like,
Got
he's a
that
short
cigar
little
stink.
stinky man. And it just makes me think of like Danny DeVito would be a great Wolverine.
That's exactly. I'm picturing Danny
Well,
DeVito with the
yeah.
cigar, and he's got this claws out.
He just run around and he's like, "Hey, get over here, bub.
God damn it!
I need to club you today. Get over here. From him." Or whatever.
From
I don't know.
him.
I love all the freaking memes that people make of just doing the Fantastic Four with the cast, and
Oh
it's
my
always sunny.
gosh! And Ryan Reynolds
Oh,
does it
God.
too. He wants that.
Yeah.
Oh,
That needs to
hold on, hold
happen.
on. You need
That
to
would be
make the meme
fantastic.
of Danny DeVito as Wolverine, but it's just him with and then I started blasting, but it's him with the claws out like, and then I started slashing.
There you go.
Like there we go.
I like it.
Good stuff.
Someone make that.
Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, they're doing a little Hulu documentary about the
Making of Pikachu.
no the soccer
Detective Pikachu.
the football team that him and Rob McElhenney bought.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It looks fun. I'll probably watch it. Okay, one thing. Do you have Marvel fatigue? Are you fatigued at this point?
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
I was prior to this, because I just wasn't as vibed with like Moon Knight and Hawkeye was okay, but I wouldn't say I'm fatigued. No, I'm waiting for the movies. I may, I'm kind of over the shows. I'm waiting to see where this MCU is finally going. What's this next phase going to be?
Yeah, I would say I'm certainly at my least enthusiastic. I mean, like, because if you guys remember, I had friggin' Thor: Love and Thunder on like my top 10 hype list for the year, and
And you haven't even seen
it's
it
been out
yet.
for 2 weeks. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
Like I'm at the point where it doesn't feel like I need to race to see it right away.
I'm kind of the
Right.
same way. I haven't seen it yet either. Yeah.
Like when Black Panther comes out in November, I don't even feel like I'm excited for that one. I'm just kind of feel like I'm more obligated to see it.
That one I'm very curious about. I think my
E-
curiosity
exactly.
will pull me in
Curiosity is the only thing that's really selling that movie right now.
because I have no idea what they're gonna do.
Yeah, and part of me is like that's a good marketing tactic from their perspective is just don't show us anything from the movie, maybe like hint a little tease, but beyond that just like say Black Panther 2, here's the day it's coming out.
They
And then
won't
people
do
will
that.
go to
No,
see it.
I think a lot of people should do it that way, but movie, they don't do it like that. They just show you all the
No.
trailers, and then they do TV
Right.
spots, and they basically show you the
Oh.
whole movie before it comes out, and it's annoying.
Man, I was so mad whenever I was watching Shang-Chi in theaters and they showed a trailer for Sing 2 and they just
Love
played
it.
the whole movie. And
I
then I
love
watched
Sing
the whole
2.
movie and I went, that's just the trailer I watched.
Sing 2 is fire, but we've already talked about that in our
Yeah.
last episode. Yeah.
We're going to talk about it like every single episode
Well,
from
it's
here on out.
good. It's
I
good.
just got to bring it up.
You know, Scarlett Johansson, as problematic as she is, she can actually sing. You know,
Is she problematic? Why is she problematic?
whitewashing.
What did she whitewash?
She
Corey
whitewashed the
Norwood.
whole...
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Ghost in a Shell is fun.
Oh yeah, that's
And-
true.
And
Whenever
she
people like
complains about it too.
criticized,
Yeah.
people criticized her and they're like, "Hey, why don't you like talk about this?" She's like, "Well, I'm an actress, and if I can play whoever I want, whether they're Asian, if they're black, or whatever." And it's just like, okay. So
Yeah,
now the
who else?
joke is that she's like the top 10 Asian actresses on Earth. So,
You know who else thinks that? D. Reynolds.
oh jeez.
All right, let's talk about Pokemon.
What a great transition. Speaking of Asian, let's talk about Pokemon.
Whoa, Bailey. No one said that.
Yeah, come on, Bailey.
Yeah.
Coming soon is going to be Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. As far as I know, the region currently doesn't have a name.
No name. Yeah.
No name. But I believe it is based off of Spain. From what I've heard, it is based off of like Mediterranean Spain.
Okay.
At least loosely. So what we were gonna do, and the reason that I came up with this idea, is we're gonna like create regional variants or new evolution forms that we would like to see in Scarlet and Violet. I personally, one of my favorite things in like more recent Pokemon is regional variants.
It's
I just think
awesome.
that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you don't have to make a whole brand new Pokemon, but you get to play around with old classics. I just think it's a lot of fun.
And, yeah, you get to give some crappy Pokemon some new life.
Yeah.
Oh
like
yeah. Zigzagoon.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah, and like Meowth has regional.
I think
like,
he's got
some of them are
I
really
think he's
cool.
got a regional variant in all of the new regions.
I think
he has
so.
He's got a
lot, yeah.
Alolan. He's got Galar for sure. Was there another one, or is it just those two?
Those are pretty much the only two I can think of.
Yeah, so he's
It's
got-
like he
yeah.
becomes a dark type and a Lola, and then he becomes
Steel.
a steel type and
Yeah.
Galar.
So
Interesting.
I've really enjoyed regional variants. Like Caleb said, bring life to Pokemon that maybe you wouldn't really play as much or don't really care or haven't thought of in a long time. So I think it's a really good idea, and I'd like to continue to see more of those. I think they're a lot of fun.
I think that's a
I
trend that
saw-
will stay for a while.
I hope so. I saw some rumored regional variants for this new Scarlet Violet game. Admittedly, I did not do a tremendous amount of reading into like their typings and all that stuff. But some of the rumored regional variants, I heard possibly a Sunflora regional
Ooh,
variant.
I'd be down for
There
that.
we go.
I love
There
some
we
I think
go.
the rumor on that one was maybe Grass Fire.
See, that's what I was just thinking. Like, yeah,
see
it
that.
makes sense.
And I also heard maybe a Mankey/Primeape regional variant
I
in
almost-
this game as well.
I almost did one of those for this.
So those are just some ones that I've heard. I think it's awesome. I'm very curious to see what they have. They've not, but I like them. Oh, you know what I really like? I really liked the in Arceus the. There was an
Hisuian, yeah. I forgot about those.
the Hisuian Arcanine. I really liked.
Ooh, yeah,
that
no,
one was really
good.
cool.
The Hisuian
I-
Stantler looked cool. I never played the game, but
Yes.
it looked cool.
And then they had the Hisuian, or the
Voltorb.
evolutionary form of Quillfish. They had the Voltorb.
That was a good. The Quillfish one was a good one. I get mad at that
Quillfish
one
was
because
good.
I think Quillfish is cool because I'm a Gen 2 guy, but he doesn't evolve.
Yeah. There's so many Pokemon in Gen 2 that got really screwed over. And I
Mhm.
give one of them some love. So let's get on with this
I do
list,
too, a
right?
little bit. I
Yes,
give a couple
so-
of them love.
We were to come
yeah.
up with 5 regional variants or new forms that we would like to see, kind of explain them and the what and the why of it all. Typing, if you came up with the typing for it. But yeah, I can go first if you guys want,
Go for
and
it.
we can just do one at a time. I kind of cheated on my first one. I'll just cheat right out of the gate because I had this idea. Since it seems like some of the theme, like one of the themes of the 2 games is like past and future almost.
Mm-hmm.
One
Mhm.
idea that I had was not just and it's literally just for this one, not just a regional variant, but I want game variants to
Okay.
them as well. So my idea was for Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, and I wanted to stick with the past future. So in Violet, which is the future game, I wanted them to be electric fighting and make them almost like cyborgs or robots.
Okay.
And then
Enhanced. Yeah.
yeah, and then in Scarlet, the sort of past game, I wanted them to be. I think I was leaning towards rock slash fighting, because
Hmm.
kind of like electricity the future, rock the past. I'm not really sure like what they would look like there, but maybe like a more primal version, almost. I don't know, maybe like
Yeah, say
caveman
give him a
seeming
little bit of
guys.
more like matted fur or something on him.
Yeah, so that was my first idea was some Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan. I didn't think of one for Hitmontop because honestly, I don't really give a
He
shit about
sucks. Yeah.
Hitmontop. Yeah, that's why I picked these guys is because Hitmontop. No, Hitmontop otter. So Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, I thought would be cool in those styles.
That's pretty ballin'. Bailey, me or you? I'll let you pick.
I'll go ahead and just go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get one of my more conceptual ones out of the way, and that is Vanillux. The
Ooh,
whole,
that
you
yeah.
know, that whole lineage. I just think it's kind of a missed opportunity
It
because
is.
it's
I know where you're
based
going.
on yeah, no, it's based on like ice cream and like
Yeah.
different desserts. And I think it would be cool to have like an ice fairy variant where they have different forms based on like the regions that they're in. So like Kanto even, if you evolve them there, they will look a different way and start maybe like backtracking them. But I was thinking like, find some sort of Spanish dairy cuisine to make them look similar to.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Um but yeah, I just think Pokemon should have taken advantage of that in particular. But yeah,
Oh
so
yeah.
Vanillix, that whole lineage, just Ice Fairy.
That would be cool. That would be
Solid.
cool.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and start. I'll probably start with my. I guess. Well, I'll just start with this one. My first one would be Onyx. I like Onyx.
Yeah.
I'm a big Steelix fan, but I also like Onyx. And Onyx, of course, was introduced with no evolution originally, and then they got Steelix a little bit later. But I figured we would get well, obviously we don't know the name of this region, so I can't say it. But like this regional variant of Onyx would still be called Onyx. It would be ground rock, but he would like probably look maybe more black, like charcoal, rather than like gray, the regular rock that he looks. And then I was gonna give him a second evolution rather than trading with a metal coat. Maybe he just evolves, or maybe you give him a different item in trade. I'm not sure, but he would evolve into something that I'm calling Sardonyx, and I'm just kind of randomly coming up with names. They probably suck, but he would become Rock Dark, and I figured he'd probably be like a little bit bigger than Onyx, and since he's black, I figured it'd be cool to have like maybe like different like rocks, like minerals and diamonds, like poking out of him. So like he's kind of like glistening and shining a little bit. I don't know.
Nice.
That's just kind of the design I had for him. But yeah, it'd be like a rock dark evolution to Onyx. Give him some shout out, I guess.
Yeah. My next one is also another Gen 1. I went with a couple of Gen 1s. And for this one, I picked one that has no evolution. And I picked Tauros.
Hmm.
Ooh, there we
Uh,
go.
Spain has a history with bulls, some of it problematic, but there's definitely a history. If the game's based off Spain, I felt like bulls would be important. I kind of pictured it as a normal slash fire, I guess, in my head. You know how he's got like those 3 tails. I just thought it would be really cool if there was like balls of fire on the 3 tails there,
Yeah.
coming off there. So I don't know, like normal fire was kind of because his base typing is normal, but I just thought it would be cool if you gave him a fire typing variant there. Um, give him like moves like Flame Charge and things like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Would fit a lot with that. So Taurus was my pick there. There's like the whole running of the bulls tradition in Pamplona as well, where they just like let bulls loose in the streets and try
Yeah.
not to get trampled to death. So, I thought it seemed like a good one.
I like it.
Trying to tie it to that
Yeah.
Spain theme. So
Yeah, I didn't know
Oh, yeah.
Spain prior to this. Otherwise, I probably would have went with that as well.
I'm kind of just trying to spin everything that I've done towards that Spain theme and the theme of like past and future.
mhm.
The next one, it's not really like anything to do with that though. It's just I think Flygon needs a little more love. And I would love to see Flygon become a dragon bug type because I don't know if we've seen dragon bug as a combination. Maybe we have. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
But
This
yeah,
is typing normally.
no, it's dragon ground normally.
Okay, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like one of those. It conceptually it's supposed to like burrow into sand, and then it evolves into like a dragonfly, and then it evolves into Flygon. I don't know, something like that. But I think like getting a Flygon variation that is actually dragon and bug and a little more dragonfly-esque would be kind of fun. So yeah, that's just my next pick.
Shrek, yeah. My next is he's already got a regional variant, so this would be a second regional variant, but I did kind of come up with this before he got his first one, so I still wanted to use it anyways. But I was going to give Geodude a regional variant, and he's still going to be Rock Ground, and then he will evolve into Graveler, and he will become Rock Fighting instead. I don't know about you guys, but I think Graveler looks cooler than Golem. I like the four arms
yeah,
that he's got going on, and
Yeah.
he loses that when he turns into Golem. So instead, originally I thought you would maybe like give him like a King's Rock and then trade him and he'll evolve that way for this. But he would evolve into something I'm calling Graviking, and so with the Kingstone, and he would still be rock fighting, and he would retain that look of Graveler more rather than like that smooth Golem look, and like maybe his head would kind of shape like a rocky crown or something like that to give off the king thing. But I'm thinking rock fighting, and he's got like the forearms going on. That's what I want to go with. Graviking.
I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really care for the Alolan Golem Geodude line that much. It's just
The-
okay.
That's
Or a little
Italian
goofier looking.
discrimination.
Is it?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He looks like Mario to me.
Oh.
That's anti-Italian discrimination.
He's normal now.
Thank you, Chris Pratt. My next one, I went with a Go-Goat.
Oh, I like Go-Goat.
I was trying to again stick with the Spanish theme there, and I was like, well, what are some animals that live in Spain? And one of them was an ibex, which is basically like a goat but with like real big ass horns. And they kind of like live up in the rocky mountainous areas. So my idea was to do a Go-Goat with those sort of ibex style horns there, but have him be a grass rock type. To kind of like be in like the plains and the mountains at the same time there. So Go-Goat, grass rock variant there. I think he's just a straight up grass type, is he not?
Yeah, I think he's
yeah,
solid
I think I
grass.
remember he was just grass.
Yeah, so give him a rock typing, kind of change the way his horns look a little bit. Maybe take some of the, because these freaking ibex horns, I'll send you guys a picture, but they're pretty freaking crazy.
Yeah. Well, my next one is, oh geez, I just saw the picture of the horns.
It's
Those
pretty
are
wild, yeah.
Yeah, he would be more like a Harley Davidson, I think, motorcycle wise. Oh god.
Yeah.
Jeez. So my next one is a Dunsparce evolution.
Oh,
Long live Dunsparce.
dude, that was the one I cut from my list. I have one too.
Yeah, no, I was just like, it's unfair that Dunsparce is just kind of shoved to the side and
He's
hasn't
so
been given
ass,
any
dude.
love. He's so bad. He's a normal type.
Just straight normal.
Yeah, Dunsparce
straight
is
normal.
trash.
I was like,
He's
what the
like
hell?
also
So-
like rare to catch in Gen 2 games.
Yes,
For some
very
reason.
hard. Yeah.
That's the only appeal to Dunsparce that currently exists is that
Yeah.
he's just hard to catch and very rare. So I was just like, just give him an evolution. And so I called this one Grubsparse, and I just think he'd be a better like grub. So he just turns into this bigger worm with legs, maybe even like has wings, and he becomes bug ground like you would assume he is. Even in his first evolution, I'm like, that looks like a bug type at least. And it's based on like, burrowing kind of worm things, but it's normal. And I don't know. Dunsparce makes me mad because of how garbage he is. So I was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead, give him evolution. There we go. So that's my next one.
Yeah, I
Nice.
almost had a Dunsparce. I think he's based on I just looked up a Tsuki Noko. I'm not really sure. It's some sort of weird reptile. Uh,
A reptile?
yeah,
What
believe it or not, some weird like fat
the
snake
hell?
thing. But
Interesting.
this isn't one. But I was gonna call mine Arm Sparse, and he was gonna be like a defensive tank, and he's gonna be normal steel. But obviously,
Oh, cool.
that's not what I was gonna end up doing. But that's what I had. But my next one, I'm gonna go with my favorite regional bird, Pidgey. I love the regional birds, and Pidgey's probably my favorite. So ideally, I don't really know. I conceptualized this a long time ago as well, and like it was gimmicked, like he would have to evolve in like a certain area, probably like a graveyard area for this. But ideally, Pidgey, he's kind of got like that sort of reddish orange like feather on top of his head. I was gonna change that to like more of like a ghostly like violet blue kind of color. And then he was still gonna be flying normal, and then Pidgeotto was gonna just be flying, was gonna drop the normal, and then when he evolves into his final form, which I'm currently dubbing Pidgeist, like a poltergeist, it was gonna be flying ghost, and he was just gonna kind of be like a little bit more pale, like his whites would be more pale and his browns would be darker, and he'd have like white eyes, like ghostly white eyes, and kind of like that bluish purple instead of the red on his feathers. So that's what I was going for, flying ghost.
This is cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool typing. I have. Ooh, shit! Clicked the wrong thing on my computer there. I have next. I did a Waylord. Again, I was kind of doing. The whole "what are some animals in Spain" kind of
Oh,
thing.
please tell me you went like killer whale. I know it's not there, but
Well,
have it be
they
like
have
water and dark.
one species of whale that is known to be off like the Iberian Peninsula, like where Spain is. It's called the pilot whale. And it looks like almost like just like a larger dolphin. Like it's kind of almost like in between those two. But I just was like, whoa, pilot flying. So I did a water flying Waylord, which I thought would be kind of
That'd be
interesting.
cool.
I don't really have a picture of how it would look in my head. Maybe, well, I guess they kind of already did Sharpedo, like a torpedo.
Yeah.
But maybe make it look torpedo-esque to a degree.
Yeah,
And it could like fly around and stuff. So
that's
I
cool.
don't know.
Love that. I mean, it also would make sense because Wailord is like based on a blimp anyway.
Oh
It's
yeah,
actually much lighter than it looks. So having one that was like, I don't know, maybe even a fighter jet or just a straight up plane.
yeah,
That'd be fun.
would be neat.
Yeah. So, my next one, I was torn because there are a couple of like squirrel Pokemon out there, and then I just was like, I'm just gonna go with Sentret and the Furret line just
Oh, that's
because
cool.
they're normal. I decided to make them normal poison, and the whole concept around them is like city squirrels or college campus squirrels. They're always rummaging through trash cans.
Eating
And I kind of like this
Doritos.
idea. Yeah, I like this idea of like a Sentret or Furret kind of thing where it's like just covered in trash and has just become
The
toxic.
trash man.
Yeah, the trash man. And it doesn't change its name or anything. It's just Sentret, Furret, but they're just poison type and they look a little more sickly and covered in just garbage. So that's what I would have, and it would probably prominently stay within the city. And then once you go outside of the city, you can catch like just the normal types out there.
Nice.
Cool idea.
Yeah.
My next one is Swablu, the Swablu line. I'm already a pretty big fan of Swablu and Altaria. But I really like its design. Obviously, it looks like a cloud. So I don't really know what Swablu would do differently, but Swablu would presumably look a little bit different. But I'm going flying electric with Swablu,
Storm
kind of a
clouds.
storm cloud, yeah. And then he would evolve
There.
into Altaria, and he would be dragon electric, and he'd still, yeah, he'd be like a storm cloud. He'd be darker, and yeah, electric, yeah, yeah. You got it.
Hell yeah.
I was like,
No,
that's
no,
cool.
like as soon as you said Swablu, I was like, oh, Swablu is kind of like a cloud in a
Uh-huh.
blue sky. Ooh, give it like purple and then like dark gray with the cloudy wings.
Yeah, you could do it. It's cool.
Yeah, that
That
would be
is cool.
lit. Yeah, that's awesome. I guess then my last one here. Again, I stuck pretty closely to a Spanish theme for this. That was kind of my inspiration. But this one I didn't go with an animal. I went with a Golurk, a big
Ooh,
old.
oh, I like, yeah,
I really just the first time I saw a Golurk, I was like, that thing's cool as hell.
yeah, he's cool.
But
Is,
I
is
went
he
with,
ghost ground right normally?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't do a huge change on Golurk. I changed him to Ghost Steel. And in my head, I pictured him as, because he's kind of like a knight golem kind of guy. I pictured him more like a Spanish conquistador.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like change the style of armor, maybe give him like a sword or something, and Spanish conquistadors killed millions and millions of people, so we're not trying
What?
to
No way.
uh, we're not trying to glorify that, but there is that angle of Spanish history there, and I think like making him look like a conquistador, still keeping him ghost steel, would be a neat combo
That would be
there.
pretty cool.
That's Bailey's
can
two
tell.
favorite types of Pokemon, so I'm sure
Yeah.
he's already foaming at the mouth.
Oh god.
Oh yeah. I still think the sword thing, Aegislash, is better. But my final one is actually a ghost type. I went with kind of sort of this whole past kind of thing with it. And that's Trevenant, the
Mm-hmm.
ghost tree stump.
Oh, yeah, I like that guy.
Instead of just doing like a modern dead tree, I went with petrified trees, and which are essentially rocks nowadays because of the fossilization process. So Trevenant is just an ancient dead tree that just looks more like a rock than anything. Um, but yeah, I
Is
kind
he
of thought
ghost
that was a
rock or
cool
is he ghost grass?
ghost rock.
Ghost rock,
Ghost
yeah.
rock. Yeah. So they looked like more like Trevenants back in the day, but they're also much bigger because the trees were much bigger. But after years of fossilization, they have just turned entirely to these like thick, stony stumps.
Hmm.
Nice.
So yeah, I just went with that.
Right on. My last one is another Gen 2 favorite of mine, Fanfi.
I
He
was
is.
trying to think of something for a Fanfi, and I was trying to think of an Ampharos one also, but I couldn't come up with
Yeah.
anything good.
Yep. Ampharos is pretty dope too. So Fanfi is normally Fanfi, Donphan, and they're just ground type. I thought I was maybe gonna kind of go to a ground steel route and maybe kind of just beef them up a little bit, but I ended up going a different route. And so I made Fanfi and Donphan ground normal. I wanted to add a little bit of different to them. I wanted to kind of make them a little bit more plain and generic. And then I gave him a new form called Fantress, is just what I'm calling it. I don't know. And he would be ground flying because I'm going for a Dumbo theme. Give him those big old ears.
Oh yeah,
That's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah. So I figured ground flying, get the big old flying Dumbo ears. I thought that would be kind of cool. So
like it.
thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. These are all good choices.
Yeah.
None of them were dumb.
I thought.
I think that's.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Caleb.
You go. I was just gonna say I do this a lot.
I'm sure you do. You allegedly invented wishy-washy.
I did.
I was just gonna say I think that this is fun, and I think it also shows like how much potential there is in regional variants,
Yeah.
because like
There's
I
no
mean, you and
end.
Bailey both almost did a Dunsparce, like, and you know, you can base them off the regions, you can base them off like what their designs look like. Like, there's so much potential for change on a lot of them, and that way you don't have to come up with 100 new Pokemon every generation. You can just kind of tweak some of the ones you already have.
Yeah. I almost thought about doing. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about it, but this doesn't really quite count as a regional variant. It's more so just a new Pokemon. But I can't remember the Panseer, Panpour, Pan whatever those
Yeah,
things.
the elemental
Yeah,
monkeys.
I wanted them, and I want them still. I want them to do an electric one. Just throw in an electric one. Give me a yellow monkey with the same thing. Use a Thunderstone. I don't know. I just thought that would be a cool idea.
You guys, and this is just like a who the hell actually knows. What do you think they'll add any new evolutions in this? I feel like they're obviously at some point going to hit all of the types. Like,
I've heard a rumor that they are going to do at least one new evolution for this one. And I've heard everything from poison to dragon.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen fan evolutions for every type that hasn't already hit the games yet, and there are some cool ones out
some
there.
that look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I saw the Eevee a dragon fan art one, and I was like, that's cool as hell.
I've seen
and
a
then
ground
I saw
one.
Saw a fighting one that looked really cool. Like they gave it like the freaking like Rock Lee bandages around its arms and stuff.
It was either ground or rock that I saw. It was like Egyptian, and it looked kind of like a sphinx. It was pretty cool.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah.
Mm.
Shooty poo. I don't know when those games come out. Is it November? Okay. Yeah. So we will definitely do some more Pokemon stuff come November there. Pokemon is fun, and I enjoy it. And we'll probably talk about the game at some point too. I'm not sure what we'll be doing next. I think there's some stuff on the horizon.
Yeah, go see Thor.
Yeah, go see Thor eventually. I don't know. Like, I'm almost kind of like,
I'm almost holding out till Disney Plus. Honestly, I won't say that for sure though.
Ooh.
I'm kind of like on that bus myself.
Yeah.
Multiverses hasn't been fully released.
LeBron.
It's in the beta. It's in the beta, but they added LeBron and also Rick and Morty.
Jesus Christ! God damn
God,
it!
Now
I don't want this game.
Space Jam 2 predicted this. God damn it!
I know you guys thought. I just don't get Rick and Morty. I don't get it.
It's good. I don't love it as much as like Dad does or a lot of other people do, but it's fun.
It's like if
Rick
I'm
and Morty
bored,
will be
I'll
the fat
turn it
princess of this game. I just won't ever play as them.
So maybe we'll go see Thor. There's gonna be we probably got Andor pretty soon, don't we?
I have no idea. Andor,
I think, is at the September or something like that. Because
I
know we're getting Andor pretty much entirely through the rest of the year through December. So. Oh god, we just do like a week by week breakdown of all 12 episodes, and it's just like, when do we get tired of this? That one we might have to do a every 2 weeks kind of system thing.
Yeah, probably. Well, yeah, maybe we'll do a Dragon Ball Superhero.
I may skip that one, or I may join in and just listen to you guys just rant and rave. And then I interject by saying, I remember when Goku did a Kamehameha in episode 1.
We're going to say, we hate you, go away.
Yeah, no, the whole time will just be, let's bully Bailey about not knowing Dragon Ball stuff.
We did talk about doing top 10 Dragon Ball movies, so...
Yeah, we could probably throw that into the same episode, maybe.
Probably could. Looking forward at some other things, just scrolling through this list. There's some things that you guys probably don't care about, like House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones.
I kind of do care about that. I'm getting excited for it.
There is we could do an episode for the Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation special.
I don't know if that would be an entire episode dedication.
I will say the Lego Star Wars Christmas special is pretty good. I won't lie on that. We could talk about Prey. We could talk about
I could do
Prey.
a Prey. Yeah, I could do a Prey.
I could do Prey.
We could talk about I Am Groot coming to Disney Plus on August 10th. Woof.
It looked adorable. I'm all for
Sure.
it.
Some other things that maybe we could talk about coming up in August. Oh, She-Hulk comes out in August.
We do have a lot of
CGI
stuff we
Hulk.
can cover.
Uh,
How else would they? I mean, yeah, they've done a big dude before, but it doesn't look. Good.
Andor is at the very end of August. Yeah.
Got it.
Well, there's things there. Well,
Amen.
ramble. Goodbye. Adios. Farewell.